Hello and welcome. This is Stephanie from Crochetverse. This video is a tutorial for my Friends Around the World square, the Seaglass square, that I have contributed to the free crochet along, which is a compilation of squares that will all match together to create anything you want, but intended for an Afghan. And each is contributed by a designer. Some I'm sure that you've heard of and will be excited to see, and others you've probably not heard of but will be excited to learn about. The written pattern for this square is located on my blog at crochetverse.com. That's CROCHETVERSE.com. Each square will also be linked through the Crochet Along group on Facebook, which I will link in the description of this video for you. You'll definitely want to join and follow the group. You'll see other people working on their squares, as well as be sure to not miss any of the squares from the other designers. Each square will fit together. My square and all the other squares can be done either solid or multicolor. I will show you a multicolor sample just so you can see how the color changes are performed. And if you choose to do a solid color square, feel free to just ignore that part and carry on with your current color. This square is done with a size H 5mm crochet hook and worsted weight yarn. The finished size of the square will be 12 inches. And I am using these colors here. This is all worsted weight yarn. Most of it's Red Heart Super Saver, which I love. And so if you have any questions, please go ahead and comment, and I will do my best to get back to you. And make sure to look for the written pattern on the blog. Okay. You're going to want to go ahead and print off the pattern so you can follow along with me. You will be beginning with your main color, and I am going to choose this sand color for my main color. I'll move these other ones out of the way. Okay, so to begin, we're going to make our magic ring. So if you do not like the magic ring, or you're just not in the mood for it, you can alternatively chain 2 and work this first round in the second chain from the hook. You will not turn your rounds, and if you desire, you can use a marker to mark the first stitch of your round to keep track. Main color is going to be called color A. So you make your magic ring, and we are going to chain 2. This counts as the first double crochet for the pattern. After this, you're going to make 11 double crochet into the ring. 1, 3, 4. Okay, so because that first chain 2 counts as the first double crochet, we're going to have 12 in our ring. We're going to pull the tail to close that ring nice and tight, and we're going to slip stitch in the top of the chain 2 to close the ring. Round 1. Round 2 is going to use colors A and B. I'm choosing this blue as my color B. For round 2, we begin by chaining 1. Remember, we're not turning our rounds. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We are going to do 2 half double crochets in the same stitch as the chain 1. That's right down there at the base of that stitch where we created that chain 1. So 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. So now I'm going to grab a stitch marker Oh, I'm also going to break the stitch marker, which means I'm going to grab a second stitch marker. Isn't that how it goes? Oh my goodness, that one broke too. Okay, my favorite thing actually to use for stitch markers is a bobby pin. I was trying to be all official, but we're going to do it the way I always do it. I like to mark with a bobby pin. I generally have one in my hair, so I tend to just pull it out and use it. Okay, so we've got that first half double crochet marked. We've made 2 half double crochets in the same stitch as the chain 1. Now we're going to make a 4 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch. All of the popcorns will be done in your secondary color. So my half double crochet is going to be made in these main colors here. So what that means is actually I should have changed colors at the end of that half double crochet. So to change colors, you're going to perform that prior stitch just until you're at the final yarn over pull through. Okay, so see I have 3 loops on the hook here. Now I'm going to pick up that color that I want my popcorns to be done in. I'm going to lay that over the end of the hook and I'm going to pull it through. So my prior stitch is completed with the new color. Okay, now that my colors are changed, this color that you're not currently using is going to be carried behind your work. You want to take care that you don't pull this carry color too tightly. Otherwise, you're going to pucker the work or the work may wave. So you just want to lay this color behind. You don't want to pull or tug it too tightly. So I'm going to now perform my popcorn with my secondary color of the yarn while laying this yarn behind. How to do that is this. You're going to yarn over and you're actually going to create 4 complete half double crochets into the same stitch. We have 4 in the same stitch. Now you're going to remove your hook from that last one you made, pull up the loop so you don't lose it. Now insert your hook from front to back in that first half double crochet that you made. Pick that loop up once again, pull it through that first half double crochet that you made and chain 1. This chain 1 is part of the half double crochet and not a chain in and of itself. So remembering that all the stitches except for the popcorns are done in your main color, color A, you're going to change back to that main color on your chain 1. So basically you're just going to lay this down. You're going to pick up the color A and pull it through on the chain 1. So all your color changes are done on that chain 1 of your half double crochet. So now I'm back to color A and I've completed my half double crochet popcorn in my color B. Okay, so in the next stitch right there, and remember we're going to take the color we're not using and just lay it across here and crochet around it. So watch. I'm crocheting so that color B is encapsulated in the half double crochet. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. Now remember, I'm going to do my popcorn in the next stitch here, so I have to change my color back to my contrast color for the round at the final yarn over pull through of the stitch prior. So I'm going to lay my color A back down, and I'm going to pick up my color B and I'm going to perform that final yarn over pull through with that color. Now in the next stitch, again, lay that behind. I'm going to create 4 half double crochets completely. And complete the popcorn by dropping it and pulling that loop from the back. Now on the chain 1, change back. Now in the same manner, I'm going to repeat that more times until I'm around to the beginning, you are going to end up with 12 half double crochets and 6 popcorns in this round. 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. At the final yarn over pull through, change to the contrast. Remembering to lay your yarn behind your work and encapsulate it in the stitches you're currently working. 1, 2. Now remember, if you're doing a solid color, you're just simply going to carry on with your solid. It looks just as beautiful, but I want to show you the not more difficult, but the more labor intensive way to do this. That way, if you choose to do it solid, it will be a breeze, but if you choose to do the color changes, you're not going to have any question as to how and when all these color changes are performed. And as we get into the further rounds, I'm going to start the round until you understand how the round is performed, and then I will pause and restart when I've completed the round. That way we're not going to have a 4-hour long video, and you won't have to watch me crochet in silence, because I'll be sure that you have a handle on the round before I let you go on your own to complete the remainder of it. Okay, we are now beginning our last popcorn here. And then on this last one here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each separated by 2 half double crochets. We don't really need to change back. Well, actually, yes, we do. Sorry about that, because we're going to begin our next round in the main color. So on this chain 1, you're going to go ahead and change your color. Then I take my stitch marker out, slip stitch to that first half double crochet of the round, and round 1 is completed. Or I'm sorry, round 2 is completed, excuse me. Okay, we're going to begin round number 3. This is done in color A, your main color only. Chaining 2 to begin. Do not turn your rounds. Mark the second of the chain 2 as the top of your round, so you know where to slip stitch to at the end. We are going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and we are going to do 2 double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn. Recall that you will appear to have 2 stitches on the top of that, but you have to be sure to only use 1. You're going to skip this part right here, and you're going to do all your stitches in this chain 1 here. This is going to be where you're going to work your stitches. This is going to be where you're going to skip. Let's get that second to focus. Not here, but here. So we're going to work 2 double crochets into there. Now we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, and we are going to do 2 doubles in the next. 2 doubles in the next half double crochet popcorn. You're going to repeat around in that manner, working 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets. At the end of the round, you're going to have 30 double crochets. So it's 1, then 2, and 2. 1 in the next, and 2 in the next, and 2 in the next. I'm going to pause the video, complete the round, come back and show you what it looks like. Again, we've got 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and 2 in the next half double. Actually, we're almost to the end of the round, so I don't think we'll need to pause. We'll pause as we get into the longer rounds. 1 double in the next, 2 doubles into the next stitch, and 2 half doubles into the last popcorn there. Now we are back to the top of our beginning chain 2. We're going to remove that bobby pin stitch marker, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. Now at the end of this round, we're going to have 30 double crochets, and you're going to want to be sure that you check that for accuracy, because each round builds upon the prior. So if you make a mistake here, all your subsequent rounds will not be correct. So I'm going to give myself a double check, starting with the one right at the base of my chain that I just made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And we have 30. Okay, so we are going to move on to round 4. This round is going to be color A, and it's going to be color C. I'm going to use this lighter turquoise color as my color C. Again, all stitches of the round are performed in color A except your popcorns, which will be done in your second color. So let's begin. We have chain 1 to start the round. This does not count as a stitch. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in the same stitch as the chain 1, but we are going to need to change colors here. So the final yarn over pull through is going to be performed with color C, the contrasting color. Okay, now I'm going to mark the top of that first half double crochet I made so I know where to come back to at the end. Okay, for round 4, it began with our chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and 2 half double crochets in the same stitch as the chain 1, marking that first half double crochet. The next stitch is the 5 half double crochet into the next stitch. Now back to our main color. We're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch and half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Now we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. Now at this we need to change colors because the next stitch is a half double crochet popcorn, and that consists of 5, 1, I like to tug this color, secondary color, a little bit tight because that's going to pull that chain 1 tight there, and it's going to not have a gappy look between your popcorns and your double crochets. So give it a tiny little tug, but then after that, remember to lay it loosely so you don't pucker your round. After the half double, we're going to go 2 half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to repeat the repeat, which is 2 half doubles in the next stitch. Next stitch is a popcorn, changing your colors. Change back to primary color A. After our popcorn, we have 2 half double crochets. Give that a little tug there. 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, changing color at that second one in prep for our next popcorn. Okay, after the popcorn, we have 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 2 in the next stitch, changing at the last for the next popcorn. See how that is getting covered on the back? It's pretty neat for all those color changes. You'll see that carry yarn in there. It peeks out a little bit here and there, but it's pretty covered for the most part. And the front of it looks pretty impeccable. I don't take time to like fiddle and untwist my yarns here because the rounds are so short. By the time I get to the end of it, it's not bad enough to where it would require it. I know like on a larger project you might want to untangle those strands, but I don't really see a need for it because it doesn't get too tangled to finish the round before you can start. Changing color back. Okay, after our half double again, we've got 2 half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next 2 stitches, and 2 half doubles in the next stitch, changing back for our final popcorn of the round. And here we go. Okay, now at this point, I'm not going to use this color C anymore, so I could snip it and get it out of my way. And now we're at that chain 1, we're going to change back to color A, and we're going to finish the round by making 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, half double crocheting into each of the next 2 stitches, and that completes our round. So I'm going to remove my marker and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 2. Okay, so now in this round we have 6 popcorns and 36 half double crochets in between them. You'll definitely want to count those. So at this point we're going to pause and do a gauge check. I tend to be a tight crocheter. At this point, if you want to have a 12-inch square, you're going to need to be about 3.5 inches in diameter. So I'm going to pull out my tape measure. And you're going to lay this down flat. You're not going to stretch or tug at it, just a gentle flattening. And lay your tape measure across and look at that. We are exactly at 3.5 inches. That means I am on gauge and I will have the appropriate sized square that I intend of 12 inches at the end. Say your circle at this time was 4 or even 5. That means you're crocheting looser than I am, and so therefore you are going to need to go down a crochet hook size and try again. You're going to want to remeasure after round 4 and make sure that you're 3.5 inches across. If you are smaller, that means you are crocheting tighter than me. That means you're going to want to go up a hook size and try again. Now, if you plan to do all these squares and your tension remains the same through all the squares, it really doesn't matter if your squares are 10 inches, 11 inches, or 12 inches. But if you want to be engaged with what I am and end up in a 12-inch square, you need to be 3.5 inches at this point. Okay, so now for round 5, we are going to only be doing it in our main color A, and this is going to be done beginning with the chain 2, and I'm going to mark the top of that chain 2. Okay. Double crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn. Remember, it's the chain 1 of the stitch. Double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Two double crochets into the next stitch. Now we begin our repeat. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn. Double in the next 3. Two double crochets in the next stitch. Now we're repeating our repeat. We're heading back and we're going to do double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double in the next popcorn, double in the next 3. Two doubles in the next. Double in the next 2. Double in the popcorn. Double in the next 3. And 2 in the next. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment, complete that pattern around. Okay, I have just made my 2 double crochets in the same stitch as the last stitch of the repeat of the round, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch my round closed, removing that stitch marker, slip stitching to the top of the beginning chain 2. Okay, at the end of this round, I want to have 48 double crochets. So you just definitely want to take a moment, pause, make sure you have 48. See how nicely these popcorns are lining up in between the rounds of the previous popcorns? I seriously just love that. Okay, so our next round 6, is going to be worked with color A and color D. I'm choosing this orange for the color D. All right, so we begin with chain 1 and does not count as a stitch, and we are going to 6 half double crochet in the same stitch. So actually what we need to do is change our color with our chain 1, pardon me. So we're going to pop that color D onto our hook, perform the color change at the change 1. So if any round starts with a half double crochet popcorn, you're going to change your color at that chain 1. So now we're working with a 6 half double crochet popcorn, same as all the others, except it's made of 6 half double crochets. So right into that same stitch at the base of the chain 1. Okay. All right, changing color to our A at that chain 1 right there. Okay. Okay. I'm not really going to mark this because it's going to be pretty obvious what the beginning of my round is. It's a bright orange popcorn. So we're going to half double crochet in the next stitch. Now you can tug that gently just to close that up. See, nice tight close there. Looks better. Okay, and 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. as you'll see if you're following along on the written pattern, that these half double crochets fall in the same double crochet that's worked on the top of the popcorn. It can be a little bit sometimes tricky to make sure everything's lining up, but if we want these popcorns to stagger, that's a good checkpoint. Make sure those 2 half double crochets you worked are in the half double crochet that rests on top of the popcorn there. Okay, now half double crochet in the next stitch, but we need a popcorn in the next, so we need to change our colors. Okay, so half double crochet in the next. Now 6 half double crochet here. Like that. Now let's get back to the repeat. That's going to be half double crocheting into the next 3 stitches. And we're going to do a popcorn in the next, so we need to change back out. In this round, we're going from 6 popcorns to 12, so at the end we're going to have 12. So that's why we're performing a few more popcorns than you did in prior rounds. Okay, after our half double crochet popcorn. So we have so far, to recap, because this round, just because we're increasing popcorns, I want to make sure that you understand. So we begin with a half double crochet popcorn, and we're half double crocheting in the next, and 2 in the next, and 1 in the next. Then popcorn, half double crochet in 3 popcorn. Now half double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. Now that begins our repeat, which is going to be half double crochet in the next stitch and popcorn in the next stitch. Okay, and then we're going to half double in the next 3, half double 6 half double crochet popcorn into the next, oh, that one got, the carry yarn got pulled through a little, but that's all right. Okay, and now we're going to half double into the next, and we're going to do 2 half doubles in the next stitch and half double in the next, popcorning in the next, so changing color. See how for every popcorn before we're flanking it with 2? You could definitely see why a solid color square would be easier. However, have always been one not afraid of color changes, because the results that it produces are just stunning. And so I believe, especially for when you're just making a sampler Afghan like this, there's no reason not to just buckle down and get those color changes done just so you can see how pretty it is. Although I know not everybody is as wild about color as I am, so a solid color is just as beautiful. That's why I tried to make my square with texture. So if you are somebody who prefers solid colors, you would still have some visual interest through that texture. Okay, so we are now going to half double in the next 3. And changing colors because the next is going to be a popcorn. Oh, hook went wayward and dropped on the floor. Getting a little crazy here. Might get a little more spinny up here on the strands just because we're changing colors more in this round. Okay, and now we're going to half double in the next. 2 half doubles in the next. And half double in the next, returning to another popcorn. Let's see if I can make it through the round without having to untangle those strands. We're going to live dangerously. Okay, so after that popcorn, it's going to be half doubling, crocheting in the next 3 stitches. Again, see how I'm just working around that, just encapsulating it, laying it gently down. All right, now we're going half double in the next. 2 half doubles into the next, and half double in the next, changing colors. Remember that the written pattern is found on my blog at crochetverse.com. Okay, and my computer just turned off while I'm following along with the pattern, so I got to slide that back open for you. Okay, so now we're changing back. And we are doing half double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Switching back out for the next popcorn. Okay, now we're going to half in the next and 2 halves into the next and half into the next. Finishing off here with 1 more popcorn. This is the last stitch that this color D, contrasting color, will be used in. So after this popcorn here, you can feel free to cut that yarn away to carry on with the next round. That did get pretty twisty, but we made it. Okay, and now we can just let that tail lay there. And after that last half double crochet popcorn, you can still go ahead and, if you want, crochet over that, but you'll definitely want to weave in that end. Don't just trust that crocheting over. We're going to half double crochet into the last of the 3 stitches there, and after we crochet in those last double 3, we're going to slip stitch to the chain 1 of the first popcorn that is made. Okay, now that is the completion of round 6. You can give it a little bit of tug so everything lays nice and smooth. As long as you're not carrying that yarn too tightly, it is going to lay nice and flat, plus a nice blocking will always help a square. Yes, I do believe you can block acrylic. I simply wet it with water from my sink. I pin it out onto a mat. Make sure that you don't pull too tightly because you don't want to like ruffle the edges of your square, but you just pin it square, 12 inches by 12 inches. I make sure that you use pins that won't rust, stainless steel, and then I pin it into a mat, a folded towel, top of my mattress, whatever I have. Then I put a fan on it and let it dry. So I definitely think blocking acrylic works. I know that you'll hear varying schools of thought on that, but that is mine. Okay, so now round 7 is going to be done just in our main color. Your checkpoint now, definitely pause for a second and count. You're going to want to have 12 popcorns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All nicely lined up, flanking the popcorns of the previous round, and this is going to be separated by 42 half double crochets. Definitely pause because it's going to be a lot easier if you made a mistake to tear out one round and redo it, then find out you made a mistake 5 rounds later and then get frustrated when you have to tear out 5 rounds as opposed to 1. So even though you might be anxious to get to the next round, pause for a second and do a quick check. Okay, round 7 is going to be done in only color A. And so we are going to chain 2, and that is going to count as our first double crochet. So I'm going to mark the top of that beginning chain 2. Gosh, this is turning out so pretty. I'm glad I picked these colors. All right, so that counts as the first double crochet, and this is on top of our popcorn. So we slip stitch to the top of the popcorn. So our first stitch is going to be worked right here. This next one in main color A, and that is going to be double crochet into, slid off, double crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2 doubles in the next popcorn. Again, you're working in that chain 1 only. Okay, this is if you're following along on written, this is the beginning of our repeat. We're going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn. Double crochet in the next stitch. 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet twice into the next stitch, and double crochet into the next popcorn. If you get lost, back up to where you double crocheted in a popcorn. That way you can have like a nice easy visual of where you lost your count. So we just finished with a double crochet into our popcorn. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 4 stitches. 2 double crochets into the next popcorn. We're going to repeat that series one more time. So we're going to start with double crochet in the next 3 stitches. double crochet in the popcorn, double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the popcorn, double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and 2 double crochet into the next. Double crochet into the next popcorn, and now double crochet, let's grab that the right way, double crochet into the next 4. Two double crochets into the next popcorn. Okay, we're almost done with the round. That was a long repeat. Now we're going to finish up by double crocheting into the next 3 stitches, double crocheting in our popcorn, double crocheting in the next, 2 in the next, double in the next 2, double crochet in the popcorn, double in the next 2. We're at our last, so we're going to do 2 doubles in our last stitch, remove our marker, slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 2, and that is round 7 completed. Quick visual of what the back looks like. Still pretty good, as long as you're carrying nicely, not too tightly but evenly. You're going to have a nice flat circle so far. Now this round is going to end with 63 double crochet. I want you to pause for just a moment and count those, and I'm going to do the same. All right, we're looking good. I have 63 double crochets at the end of round 7. Next, round 8 is going to be done in color A, the main color, and color E, which I'm going to use this, it's actually like a silvery gray. It might be showing up as a light tan here, but it's a silvery gray. We're going to chain 1. That does not count as a stitch, and we are going to begin by 2 half double crochets in the same as the chain 1. And marking the first of the half double crochets of the round, and then these actually as a marker. Okay, so see this double crochet here, how it's worked in the popcorn of the previous round. These 2 half double crochets here need to be worked in the double crochet, so they're stacked. This is the beginning of round number 8. It is done in main color A, and it is done in color E, which I'm using this light silvery gray for that. The round begins with chain 1, and that does not count as a stitch, and we are going to do 2 half double crochets into the same stitch as the chain 1. This is a good place to do a checkpoint to make sure you're in the right spot. These 2 half double crochets are worked into the double crochet, which is stacked on top of the popcorn here. So if you are anywhere else, then you want to make sure you haven't made a mistake, or you're working those 2 stitches into the proper position. So the 2 first half double crochets are worked into the double crochet, which is stacked onto the popcorn down here. So we've just done those 2 half double crochets. Okay, and so carrying on now, we are going to half double crochet. Let me adjust this just a little bit. I had to pause to count, so I want to make sure we're still in a good spot. Oh, give me just 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so after our first 2 half double crochets, after our chain 1, we are going to half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and this is going to be our first popcorn of the round. This round's popcorns are done with 7 half double crochets. So we're changing that color, giving a gentle tug and carrying it down. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a chunky popcorn. That looks nice. All right, so 7 half double crochet popcorn. Half double crochet into the, remember all the popcorns are done in contrasting color, all the remaining stitches are done in your main color A. So after our 7 half double crochet popcorn, we're going to half double crochet in the next 2 stitches and 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. Half double crochet in the next stitch, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next. Okay, this, now we're going to half double in the next stitch, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and half double in the next 2 stitches, changing color for a popcorn at the second one. 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next. Half double in the next 2 stitches, 2 half double in the next stitch, and half double in the next 2, changing out for a popcorn at the second. Popcorn in the next. Half double in the next stitch, two half double in the next stitch, and half double in the next 2 stitches. Changing again, this, if you're following along with the repeat, this is the beginning of the repeat. We're going to do it 2 times more, and it's going to begin with that 7 half double. So now we need to change over. 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next. Those popcorns are chewing up that yarn, but man, are they pretty. Half double in the next 2 stitches. Two half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next, changing over for a popcorn. Popcorn in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. half double in the next stitch, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next 2 stitches, changing over for popcorn at the second, half double popcorn, 7 in the next. Okay, we're resuming, completing up round 8. The video had to be paused and we will continue on. Let's get some a little bit of lighting down better here. This is resuming round 8. I had paused the video and we're going to finish it up now. We are creating a 7 half double crochet popcorn. So far 1, 2, 6. We need one more. Changing color back to main A color. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 half double crochet in the next, and half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, changing to E for a popcorn in the next, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch, half double in the next stitch, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and half double in the next 2 stitches, changing at the second for the final repeat of this long series. The next stitch is a 7 half double crochet popcorn. Changing at the chain 1 back to our main color. Half double in the next 2 stitches, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next stitch, changing at the end of it for a popcorn in the next stitch. Changing back to main color, half double in the next stitch, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and half double in the next 2 stitches, changing at the end for a popcorn in the next. Seven half double popcorn in the next stitch. Changing back to our main color. Half double in the next 2 stitches, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, half double in the next 2 stitches, changing to color E for the popcorn in the next stitch, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next, changing back to A to finish up the round, which will be half double in the next stitch and then you're going to omit the final 2 half double crochets in the next stitch and half double in the next 2 stitches from your last repeat, because you have already completed them at the beginning of the round. So at this point you have half double, you are ending with your 7 half double crochet popcorn and half doubling in the next stitch, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of that first half double crochet made. Now at this point we are through round 8, and just for speed, I don't mind one more end. You're going to use this color E for round 10, but I would rather weave in one more end than carry that color all the way through, so I cut it. And now we are going to do round 9. Let me get my stitch marker out there. Round 9 is done in main color only. We are chaining 2, marking the top of that chain as our first DC double crochet. 2 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next half double crochet popcorn, double in the next 2 stitches, 2 doubles in the next, double in the next 2, and double in the next popcorn. Remember, you're only working in the chain 1 of your popcorns and skipping that closing stitch towards the front. You're going to repeat that one more time in your parentheses if you're following along on the written. So that's double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, double in the next 2 stitches, and another double into your half double popcorn. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and double crochet in the next popcorn. Now we're into another repeat, double in the next 2 stitches, 2 doubles in the next, and double in the next 2 stitches, and double in the next popcorn. You're going to repeat that little series that I just did 3 times total. Double in the next 2 stitches, 2 in the next, double in the next 2 stitches, and double in the popcorn. That is twice through that repeat. We're going to go one more time. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 doubles in the next stitch, double in the next 2 stitches, and double in the popcorn. It's nice to have these popcorns because they're almost like a little place marker of where you're supposed to be on your round. Okay, now we're going to carry on and double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double crochet in the next popcorn, And now we're going to repeat the series one more time, starting at the asterisk if you are following along with me in the written. And that is going to be double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 in the next, double in the next 2, and double in the popcorn. That's once through the parentheses, repeat. Second time, double in the next 2 stitches, 2 doubles in the next stitch, double in the next 2, and double in the popcorn. One more time through that, double in the next 2 stitches, 2 doubles in the next stitch, double in the next 2 stitches, and double in the popcorn. We are going to now double in the next 6 stitches, and double crochet in the popcorn. Now we are going to double crochet in the next stitch to finish off our round. Remove our stitch marker, slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 2, and we have round number 9 completed. Okay, for round 10 we are going to bring back in our accent color for the last time. And the round is going to begin with our A, and we're going to chain 1. This is not counting as a stitch, and we are going to, this round begins with a popcorn. So when your round begins with a popcorn, you need to change your colors at that initial chain 1 of the round. So to do that, we're going to pop on our color E, pull it through, and now our color is changed to begin. So now we are going to do a 7 half double crochet popcorn in the same stitch as the chain 1, which is down here at the base of the chain. So simply 7 in the same as we've been doing all along. I will not mark this because it's going to be pretty obvious that that lone popcorn sticking up in the air is the first one of our round. I always get a little bit excited when I'm doing something with a lot of color changes like this, when I know I'm on my last round of color changes. So we're in the home stretch now on this. Okay, so round 10 began with that 7 half double crochet popcorn in the same stitch as the chain 1. This is worked on the chain 2 from your prior round as a checkpoint. Okay, and then here you have to be careful because this popcorn right here is worked in this chain 2. This next stitch here could get a little bit crunched in under because our popcorns are getting big. So make sure when you work your first stitch in A that you are working it in the right stitch. So the hook's going to go right in here. So see that? So 2 half double crochets in the next stitch after the popcorn. Oh, and then we have to change colors at the end of that second one because we're going back to a popcorn now. Okay, so we've got the popcorn, and then we have the 2 half double crochets in. Actually, wait, let's back up. Sorry about that. I'm not even going to cut that out because this is how life goes. 7 half double crochet popcorn in the same stitch as the chain 1. We've done that. The next instruction is half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Again, making sure that that first one goes right there in that stitch hiding next to that. Now on the second one, the next one is going to be a popcorn, so we're going to change out to this color, to the color E. Okay. 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch. Okay. Half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. Another checkpoint, these 2 half double crochets are worked in the double crochet, which is stacked on top of the bobble of the prior bobble round. So it's nice to have little checkpoints to make sure you're not on the right track, because again, remember, we want these bobbles to line up nicely so they're concentric. So that those 2 half doubles that you worked rest on top of the double that's worked on top of the bobble. Okay? So we're going to start our repeat now. If you're following along on the written, this is half double in the next stitch, changing at the end of it for a 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches and change at the second one for a popcorn in the next stitch. Let's see if we can make it through this round without having to untangle the skeins of yarn. There's a lot of popcorns in this last popcorn round. Half double crochet in the next stitch and 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. Now, starting with that repeat, we are going to repeat that 10 times more. So I'm going to do one more repeat, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and pause and have you work around the round, okay? So actually, for this last one, the repeat begins with a half double crochet popcorn, so you're going to need to end that by changing colors on your last 2 half doubles. So we got 2 half doubles in the same stitch as the end of the repeat, changing back to our silver. Okay, the repeat is, correction one more time. We ended with the 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch, half double in the next stitch, and 2 half doubles in the next stitch. The repeat begins at this point, which is half double in the next stitch, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch, changing back to A, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, changing at the end to make a popcorn in the next stitch, two half doubles in the next stitch. Let's repeat that through one more time. Half double in the next stitch, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch, half double in the next 2 stitches. Popcorn in the next stitch. Definitely getting tangly. I'm going to try to challenge myself and get through it without having to unwind, just because why not keep life interesting? Okay, half double in the next and 2 half doubles in the next. Okay, and we're going to repeat that around. I'm going to pause the video and come back, see how there are 2 bobbles nicely in between the 2 bobbles of the previous row. We're going to increase those. At the end of this round, we'll have 72 half double crochets and 24 popcorns. The repeat for the remainder around is half double crochet in the next stitch, 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 7 half double crochet popcorn in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. That is what we're going to repeat around. I'm going to pause and finish up this round. Okay, this is round 10 completed. We have 24 popcorns, and there are 72 half double crochet in between them. We are going to begin on round 11, and in this round we'll only use main color A, and we'll begin to square off our circle so it turns into the square. You may notice the addition of this super slick band-aid. Well, I burnt my hand last night with a glue gun making a craft with my kids, so you know, that's pretty much just how life goes. All right, so we're going to begin on round 11, and this begins with a chain 2. And that does count as our first double crochet. Here in the same popcorn, we're going to work another double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. This is how we are going to start to begin to create our corners. That will end up being one of them. Okay, we're going to double in each of the next 2 stitches and double crochet in the next popcorn. Double in your next stitch, half double in your next 3. Half double in the popcorn, single in the next 2, and single in the next popcorn, single in the next 4. Half double in your next popcorn and half double in your next 2. Half double in the popcorn and double in the next 4. Okay, in the next popcorn we're going to start our repeat, which is going to create the first corner there. That's going to be as before, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Double in each of the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the popcorn, and double in your next stitch, half double in each of the next 3, and half double in the popcorn. Single crochet in the next 2, single crochet in the next popcorn, single crochet in each of the next 4. Half double in your next popcorn, half double in your next 2, and half double in your next popcorn. Double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Okay, if you're following along on the written, that ends our first repeat. We're going to repeat from the asterisk 2 times more, and we'll begin it by another crocheting corner and that is 2 double crochets in the same stitch, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Double in each of the next 2 stitches, and double in your next popcorn. Double in the next stitch, and half double in each of the next 3. Half double in the popcorn, single in each of the next 2 stitches, single in your next popcorn, and single in your next 4. Half double in the popcorn, half double in each of the next 2 stitches, half double in the popcorn, and double in your next 4. Okay, now we're going to finish our last repeat of the round, and that includes making our final corner. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the same half double popcorn, double in your next 2 stitches, double in your popcorn, double in your next, half double in each of the next 3, half double in your popcorn, single in the next 2, single in the popcorn, single in the next 4, half double in the popcorn, half double in the next 2, half double in the popcorn, and we're going to double in the last 4 stitches, slip stitch to the top of our beginning chain 2, and that completes our round 11. You can see that it's already beginning to take on a more squared shape. At the end of this round, you're going to have 48 double crochet, 32 half double crochet, 28 single crochet, and 4 chain 2 spaces. Those are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Okay, we're beginning round 12. This is also done in your main color A. We need to move ourselves to the proper position to crochet the round. So basically you're just going to start by slip stitching into that first chain 2 space. Don't make it too tight. You don't want to pull on the work there. Okay, we're going to chain 2. That counts as our first double crochet. We are going to double crochet in the same chain 2 space. Oh wait, excuse me, let's actually hold on, wait, let's back that out. The video is so long I'm not even going to cut that out, so let's just start that again. Round number 12, slip stitching into that first space to begin the round, chain 2. This counts as the first double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2 more, and technically that'll be that space there between the corners, and then double crochet into the same chain 2 space. So we've got a double crochet, a chain 2, and a double crochet. In each of the next 4 stitches we will double crochet. We're going to half double into each of the next 4 stitches, and single in the next 11. half double in the next 4, and double in the next 4. And this brings you to your second corner chain 2 space, which begins our repeat following along on the written. In this round, our corners are just a single double crochet, chaining 2, and another double crochet, all in the chain space of that prior round. And we are going to double in the next 4 stitches. Half double in 4 stitches. And single in the next 11. Half double in the next 4. And double in each of the next 4, and that'll bring us back to our corner. We're going to repeat that same thing around. It's going to be the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the corner, followed by 4 double crochet, 4 half double crochet, 11 single crochet, 4 half double crochet, and 4 double crochet. That'll bring us to our next corner to finish the last repeat. I'm going to pause this and complete that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we're at the final double crochet of round number 12, and I am going to slip stitch into the top of my beginning chain 2. Again, you can see it is becoming even more square. All right, let's start on round number 13. We need to get ourselves into the proper space to begin the round, so slip stitch into that first chain 2 space and chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, and then we are going to chain 2 more and then another double crochet into the chain space. Again, here we are creating that corner, so double crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. I'm going to double check that just because my hook dropped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we have 10. Okay, so that's 10 double crochets. Half double in the next 9. And double in the next 10. That's going to bring us right up to our next chain 2 space corner and beginning our repeat, which is going to be double crochet in the space, chain 2, and double crochet into the space, and then double in the next 10. Half double in the next 9. And double in the 10 to bring you back to the next corner. Okay, that is the repeat for this round. I'm going to finish the last two off camera, but it is going to be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the space, then 10 double crochets, 9 half double crochets, and 10 double crochets. We'll repeat that around. Be right back when that's completed. Okay, this is the end of round number 13, and you can see it's even more square. Want to make a note that when you slip stitch across that double crochet to get into your first chain space, you might tighten up that last double crochet. So just force your hook in when you're performing the last stitch of the round. You haven't done anything wrong. That's just the nature of slip stitching across the stitch. So we're going to finish this by slip stitching into the second chain of that beginning chain there, which would technically be the top of our double crochet. Squaring off nicely. I had to back the camera up because we're getting a little bit bigger now on our square. Okay, so now the last rounds are done in a contrast color if you choose. According to the pattern, I would be doing color B, which would be this blue, but I decided that I think I would rather have it be my color C, which is this lighter turquoise color. So we're going to get that ready. And I have cut my color A, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off, because if we're starting a new color, why not just join it where we would like for it to be. Okay, so round 15 is going to be joining that color into the chain 2 space after our slip stitch with a slip stitch and chaining 2, which counts as a double crochet, chain 2 more, and double crochet in that chain 2 space. Then we are going to double crochet in all 31 stitches across, and in the next chain 2 space we are going to double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So this entire round just consists of double crocheting in every stitch across, and in each corner it's 1 double crochet, a chain 2, and 1 double crochet. I don't think I really need to show you that on camera, so I'm going to pause and complete that, and we will be back. To recap, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in each of your 4 corners, separated by 31 double crochets in between, and this is all done in color B, but for my square here, I've decided to go back to my color C. Be right back to complete. Okay, we have just completed round 14, and that is the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet corners separated by the 31 double crochets in between. We are going to finish off the round by slip stitching into the second chain of that beginning chain, and according to the pattern you're going to do your last 2 rounds in C, but I kind of want mine to look like the water is coming up on the beach, and so therefore I'm going to come back to my color B for my last 2 rounds. Okay, for round 15, since we're changing colors, we don't need to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. We're going to just go ahead and join our yarn in the chain 2 space there. And chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. In this round, we're going to have 2 half double crochet, chain 2, and 2 half double crochets into the chain 2 space, and then we will back post half double crochet in the next 33 stitches. If you've not done that before, it is a yarn over, then you go behind the hook. Now you're not working in those loops on the top, you're working around the post or the body of the stitch. So from behind you want to come out in front of the stitch and then down in front of the stitch and just pull up your yarn. Sometimes that first one there is a little bit fiddly, so don't let that be indicative of all your back post half doubles. So pull it up and complete it as normal. The next one, again, it'll be easier. Insert from yarn over, insert from back to front, wrap your hook down and come across the body of that stitch and just bring it up and complete it. And it's going to create a nice little ridge on your work that adds some cool visual interest, and I also think looks a little bit like some lapping waves on the beach. See there how that creates that little ridge, and from the back it looks like that. Nice up close, you can see that it looks like that underneath. I'll do a few more of those so you could see what those look like. From behind, around the post, grab that yarn, pull it up like that. All right, so this entire round is going to consist of corners that are created with 2 half double crochets, a chain 2, and 2 half double crochets. And then we're going to back post half double crochet all the way across in the 33 stitches. And then that will be repeated around. So it'll be 2 half double crochets, chain 2, 2 half double crochets, and then 33 back post half double crochet stitches. I'm going to pause the video and do that, and you can see what it looks like in just a second. Okay, I am back and round 15 has been completed. I am seriously so in love with this. I might like it more than my first sample. But notice how those back half double crochets, back post half doubles, create this cool ridge, and then you kind of get a little peak of the color underneath it. It's just really amazing all around. So for the end of the round here, we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch in the top of that first half double crochet. Excuse me, my hands are floating up, to complete that round. Now for our last round, I'm not going to change colors, so I do need to get my hook in the proper position. So I'm going to slip stitch over to the chain 2 space here, and then I'm going to chain 1. This is not going to count as a stitch. This round here is real simple. We're just going to come around with single crochets to give it one more frame, and so therefore each corner is going to have a single crochet, a chain 2, a single crochet, and it's going to be separated by 37 single crochets. The reason for this is because each of these squares is going to match up with other squares from the crochet along, and so therefore when you create any square from any designer, you're going to be able to match it up nice and perfectly with the following squares. So I'm going to create single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each corner space with 37 single crochets in between, and I will do that off camera, and I'll be back to show you the completed square. We are almost done, and this is seriously so pretty. I can't stand it. Okay, and that is the last bit of the square. I slip stitched, closed it off here, and that is it. I am very happy to bring this to you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please remember that you can find the full written pattern on my blog at crochetverse.com, and you can do that when you get there. Search for Seaglass Square, and that'll come up for you. Also, remember that you will want to follow along with the Crochet Along group on Facebook, which I will link both in the written pattern and here in the video description, so you can find all the other designer squares. And finally, you will want to visit me on Facebook at, just search for Crochetverse when you get there. That's Crochetverse, and you will be able to post your square, and I hope to see a lot of them. And thank you so much for joining me. And there are just so many things you can do with this square. Don't be afraid to do it all solid. Do any colors you want. Change colors anywhere that you want. Put 2 of them together and just make a really cool beach tote for yourself. You know, you could put 2, this is a nice size square for a good tote. Just make a nice little handle. You could line it if you want. The possibilities are endless, and I would love to see you be creative with this. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye bye, guys.